Yes, ladies and gentlemen, exposing hapa hivi yet with another one. But before tuende mbali, nataka ebu watch video.
Yes, the mighty prophet.
You guys, you just joined today, eh?
Yes, mighty prophet.
Nimeweka kwa WhatsApp ya mbinguni.
Yes, mighty prophet.
Inaitwa Heaven Express.
Yes, mighty prophet.
You will be talking to God through me. You know, I talk to Jesus directly. I even send him meme. Wewe ndio ulinipea hiyo shamba ya Kamolo because of what you are going through with your marriage.
Yes, mighty prophet.
That is good. But for you, your marriage to be long lasting, uko na nini ingine?
Niko na gari nimenunua.
Uko na gari mpya?
Ndio.
Bring it too, so that I can talk to God for you. And you, that hair should be changed. Hiyo si nywele ya kukua kwa kingdom nayo. You know that, eh? Na wewe pia, this hair should be shaved, eh? Yes, and where uvae hiyo suti. Nice. So you guys are using road, eh? Mnatumia pikipiki and all that, eh? It is okay. Be careful on the road. Nunueni bundle ya mbinguni. I will talk to the Almighty. Nyinyi wote sasa tumewaingiza kwa kingdom. And if I see you like this the next time, nitakuwa nimekasirika, nitawatoa kwa list ya mbinguni. Catch! Beba huyo. That one is the chosen one. Tumeingiza ngapi leo?
Okay. Comedians, of course. Now, what is the purpose of this video? The purpose of this video is to crack your ribs, is to make you laugh, is to make you joyous, and also it's a reflection of what happens in the society, is what this art or artists reflect. You see? So most of the time artist huwa anafanya nini? Most of the time artist huwa ana raise ama anapasa sauti ya vitu ambavyo vinaendelea kwenye media. Now there is something I want to address here critically because it's very important. And this goes to all the persons. It doesn't matter in what situation you are, but it goes to all the persons who actually have been shut out because of individuals like this. Let us listen to this one.
Mito tunakuambia namna hii. Yaani umeona fame yako imeshuka. Ukaamua utashine na the mightiest prophet. Tunakuambia that video you have posted pale online kwa mtandao. Hiyo ende uipull down. Na sio tafadhali. Go pull that video down. You cannot mock, mimic the mightiest prophet. Or else you risk losing your...
This kind of people are already in your life. Hawa ni watu ambao wako kwa maisha yako. Inaweza kuwa ni ndugu yako, inaweza kuwa ni jirani yako, inaweza kuwa ni babako, inaweza kuwa rafiki yako wa karibu, inaweza kuwa pia ni stranger, mtu ambaye hakujui kabisa. Ambaye wakati unajaribu kufanya kitu fulani, hao washaona ubaya wako, washaanza kuambia usifanye, hapana, utafanya hivi, utafanyikiwa hivi, utafanyikiwa hivi. Unaona hii kesi ya huyu Mamito. It also happened to the other guy anaitwa nani? J-Mo Desin ama Desin J-Mo, the guy, the comedian guy. Alimimic the so-called the mightiest prophet of God, whom, of course, he's not the mightiest prophet of God. There has never been. The only last prophet that we know is Prophet John, who baptized Jesus. The rest ni vikaragosi na waongo. Now, this guy amejieka level ya kuwa yeye ni more than Jesus. Ukienda kusikia stories zake za jaba kwa makanisa zake, yeye ni more than Jesus. To the extent anasema ati alikuwa kwa Den of Lion. Angel alikuwa pale na yeye mwenyewe alikuwa amekaa hapo. Sijui stories za jaba. Now, this kind of manipulation is real. Like, it's totally real. So hata kaka mtu kanakuja kusema ati tutaangusha. Sasa ukiangusha account ya TikTok ama uangusha account ya Instagram, does the person stop breathing? Mimi nimepoteza account yangu ya 388,000. And that is not the first account, by the way. Okay? Nikifanya hesabu zangu za haraka, Wakenya ambao wamenifuatilia for the last is it 2021, for the last 5 years, kama TikTok haingekuwa na pull down accounts ovyo ovyo, I'm supposed to have at least either 5 to 6 million followers on TikTok. But I keep on losing accounts. Why? Because I always say the truth. And the truth, by the way, is hated all over. When you speak the truth and stand for what is right, you hate it all over. You get that? Yeah. So, watu wa Prophet Owuor wamejitokeza tiko threaten ati Mamito, career yako imeisha, sijui nini. Walisema the same thing kwa 𝐸𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻. 𝐸𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻 is still doing good. He's still excelling. He never pulled down the video. He never apologized to those nonsensical kind of people. He just went on and did what he does best. I'm a comedian. I always showcase what happens around me in my community. Nothing else, nothing more. You understand? I'm just doing me. So, wamekuja wameingilia Mamito sijui ati sijui fanya hivi, pull down that video, apologize. Wameenda kumtusi. Sasa nyinyi mnajifanya watu wa Mungu. Kurekebisha mtu ni kumtusi. Kurekebisha mtu ni kumtusi, kumtishia maisha, kumtishia ati career yake sijui nini. Sasa hiyo ndio vitu ya Mungu. Do not mock God. When did Prophet Owuor become God? Prophet Owuor alikuwa Mungu. Can somebody tell me, when did Prophet Owuor become God? You cannot mock God. You cannot mock the mightiest prophet of God. Let me tell you people, anyone who is preaching to you the second coming of Jesus, that guy is a liar. That guy is a thief. That guy is a con man. That guy is a manipulator. Huyo mtu anataka kukuganga. And usome Bible. It clearly states, including Jesus himself said, Jesus used his words, his own words. I do not know, okay? I do not know when I am coming back. Okay? Wacha nikutafutie hii verse. Okay? Kidogo tu. Sawa. Kuna verse hapa, ende usome Matthew 24. Okay, Matthew verse 24, chapter 24. It clearly states, for false Christs and false prophets will arise, and they will perform signs and wonders so great as to deceive, if that were possible, even the elect. This warning is part of the Olivet discourse, specifically Matthew 24, chapter 5 to 27, which describes the deception, false teachers, and signs of the end times. Okay? It clearly states that even Jesus himself, he does not know his second coming. The angels in heaven do not know the second coming of Jesus Christ. Only the Father in heaven does know that. Jesus goes further and says, let no one deceive you. They are preparing you for the coming of Messiah. Let no one deceive you. They know my coming, for I myself do not know. So anyone that is preaching for the second coming of Jesus, please, that is a con man, a con woman, a thief. And this kind of so-called prophet, I would just consider him as one of those things I have mentioned. There is nothing totally wrong with Mamito mimicking. Even Jesus, kuna watoto utapata saa zingine unapata hata hawa Catholic priests. Utapata watoto wamekaa, wengine wanajifanya mapriest, wanapatiana sacrament and stuff. And the reason as to why I like to call out this evil, somebody might ask, nini mbaya na kuaga na wewe? Nini wewe unapigananga na religion? I don't fight religion, I fight individuals. In fact, these religions divide people more than even politics. You get that? So if there is any foolishness that actually the world has inherited, the foolishness Africans have inherited is religion. Right now, there were countries, 200 and something countries voted against slavery towards Africans. They are foolish Africans sitting there watching me, praying and saying this: God of Israel, may you heal me. Mungu wa Israeli, majeshi, Mungu wa majeshi wa Israeli. Guess what? Out of the 233, is it 234? There are only 3 countries that said no, Africans should be, and it should continue for Africans to be enslaved. Guess which country was number 1? United States said no, we should continue actually enslaving Africans. Which country was number 2? Israel. Israel said we should continue enslaving these black people. And you are busy there as an African, not Jesus, God of Israel. So if God of Israel considers us as slaves, who are you praying to? Like literally, who are you praying to? Because I wouldn't want to serve a God that I'll be a slave to. No. At least not me. Forgive me. But I cannot be God's slave. If anything, I don't think, why would God build me to be a slave? He can create anything else to be a slave. But he says that we are the most precious beings, to look like him, only for God to turn me into a slave. Get out of my space, man. So listen, Kenyans. Reason as to why I hate these people who silence people on these occasions is this. When I was a kid, I had a friend of mine called Steve, and we were all altar boys at a Catholic church that I won't mention. So it happened one event on a Sunday, when people have collected, when people bring in their offering, some of them bring food and other things. So the altar boys, we used to collect them and take them back to the church and then arrange them. So one priest, one Sunday, we were 2. It was I and my friend Steve. And Steve was older than me. I saw that priest do things that are unthinkable behind the boy. I can't mention those things, but you know exactly what happened. And when we went to report home, I was beaten and Steve was beaten. After a few years, 2-3 years, Steve could not move on in terms of just accepting this thing has happened, I have to handle this. No. Steve was older than me, he had a girlfriend. But Steve later on committed suicide as an act of what had happened that specific day. And I was beaten by my father, and Steve was beaten by the mother and was told, never speak evil of men of God. It is very wrong for you to do so. So that's why I said, as long as I live, for Steve, I will continue speaking against hypocrites, parasites that are actually manipulating human beings, fellow human beings, to use them to their advantage in the promise of the so-called heaven where they have never stepped. And for memory, just in case you forget, you're busy preaching the coming of Jesus, and it is you, the same Christians, who killed him, and every day keep on mocking him in your day in, day out activities. So how true are you as a Christian if you cannot call out evil?